This College World Series and UFL Week 10 Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, and to get a $25 deposit bonus.
Hey, this is John Smoltz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
To the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Hola, Sean.
What's happening?
Doing a little double header.
Yes, we did our earlier taped the Sports Gambling Podcast bonus episode, aka SGP Stories, over on the Patreon. Make sure you get in over there, and of course you get. You join the Patreon, you get the pick sheets, you get the weekly pick'em contest, $100 cash up for grabs, and if you're on the top tier, we just launching the gear coming up for you there for the summer. So a lot going on over on the Patreon. We did me versus UFL Jeff joining us. He was on the Patreon episode earlier. Now we will be talking UFL picks, a little college baseball. From the college experience, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
Just sipping some of that beautiful whiskey. How you guys doing?
Jesus, do that. Hold on, do that again, Colby. Do that again.
What were you holding in your arm there?
I got a little baseball bat, bat. You know.
I thought you're Jeff Galooly coming to whack my knee with a rod. That looks like a screwdriver. That's not a baseball bat. What is that? It's clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Did it have beer in it at one time?
No, gumballs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
I don't want to say anything offensive, but that kind of looks like a sexual.
Yeah, I mean, Colby, I appreciate you. You keep your personal life personal. This is a workplace. Right. Whatever you want to do with that tiny miniature bat that you have hanging around, that's your own business.
Which side goes in first?
It depends what night it is.
Yeah.
I always enjoy having Colby on. Colby, we didn't. We were talking UFL, me versus UFL Jeff. We'll get to UFL picks week 10. The season's meaningless at this point, but they're still taking money on it. I'm looking at the Coach Leach bobblehead, and of course there was news that the College Football Hall of Fame, in a moment of sensibleness, decided to adjust previously they had this weird rule that you had to win 60% of your games to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. They adjusted it to 59.5.
Oh my God.
Just to make way for Mike Leach, which is awesome because he does. If there's a College Football Hall of Fame,
you just get rid of the rule.
It's classic. Like, hey, it's a Hall of Fame. You decide who goes in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Why
you also control the rules?
Very dumb. But Colby, I assume you're excited about that news.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Leach deserves to be in. It is a stupid rule because, if you like how Mummy was quoted today of saying, like, if you're not coaching at Ohio State or Texas, it takes time. So you look at his first couple, like Washington State was terrible before him. Texas Tech was terrible before him. So he walked into those places. It took 3 or 4 years to get it going. And next we got to get Howard Schnellenberger in there. So we got Leach in, Howard Schnellenberger next. Any coach with a fucking pipe deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Whoa.
Smoking a pipe on the sidelines, you deserve to be in the fucking Hall of Fame.
I thought that was like your bat over there talking about
laying some pipe.
Well, Lane Kiffin, according to reports, was laying pipe.
Big dick.
Oh, well, no, just on campus. There's a lot of rumors swirling about Lane being involved in some extracurricular activities over there. But
he's divorced, isn't that's legal? Right?
I'm just saying that. Well, now it sounds like he might be getting back with his
attractive daughter.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what's your friend's name? All right, we are here. We're going to start things off with some college baseball World Series analysis from the host of the College Baseball Experience, Mr. Noah Bieniek, joining us here on the line. What's happening, Noah?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, Colby always bringing the fire when it comes to talking college baseball, whether it's a bubblegum bat or I remember last preseason he pulled out an old like 1980s pack of baseball cards, opened it live on air,
I do remember
and then ate the stick of bubblegum that was pretty stale and powdery. That was an epic reaction. But yeah, you guys also talking about, dumb college football rules and college rules in general. The conference that runs college baseball, the SEC, coming out with an even worse rule now. They're fining teams $500,000 for court and field storms. What are we doing?
Oh no.
Well, Noah, I have this idea. Has there, and maybe a great
500
marketing stunt? Well, it's I mean, for them, who cares? It's money. They got plenty.
Fair.
Now, Noah, you and Colby team up for the first ever college baseball storming the field. Have fans ever stormed a college baseball field? Because I think that could make some headlines here. Just imagine the entire whatever stadium hopping over the fence, storming the field. Has there ever been a fan base to do that?
There are some videos of back in the old past times of, college fans storming fields. But now there's the protective netting that go basically like from home plate all the way down the first and third base foul lines. Grand Canyon did it 2 years ago when they beat Tennessee. They had a band at the field for the opening day game. So there were some people that rushed the field after knocking off preseason #1 Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
I was just at the ACC tournament. I know this netting that he's talking about. Last weekend, I was at the ACC tournament. It's this shit's ridiculous. More proof that we live in the worst time in the history of the world.
Oh, those aluminum bats. You might get a foul ball and totally smash them.
You know how we fixed the attention span issue and staring at phones? We put up a protective net. So they can't get hurt.
No, you get rid of the net, so you keep your head on the swivel.
That's my point. Yeah, you get rid of the net. The civilization becomes less retarded.
At this time last year, we were talking about Jack Caglione and him using metal bats. He was getting 120 mile an hour exit velocities. This guy's been tearing it up in the minor leagues. He's now in the AAA, still raking. He's got 4 home runs in like 7 games. He's going to be in the majors very, very soon. That's what the positive is about college baseball, is that you're seeing like really good talent that will be in the majors in 2 or 3 years. But yeah, the protective netting has gone a little too far, in my opinion. What happened to the good old getting a foul ball? And if you get drilled by a 115 mile an hour liner, pay attention. You get your hand in front of you.
That's why you bring a glove to a game.
As a young person who once caught a Mel Hall bat, which, as you can imagine,
where'd you put that, Ryan?
Mel Hall swung actually the other kid that was at the game has it somewhere. Heaviest bat I've ever felt in my life. There was no net. We survived. I had a little bit of a bruise on the chest, the sternum area, but pretty badass story. Everyone who gets hit by a baseball has a badass story. It's a war story for someone who's never going to serve any sort of battle. And so, yeah, thank you for taking that away from us, college baseball.
Noah, let's
MLB. MLB started it. Don't blame the college game for it.
It always trickles down, right? Yeah. It always trickles down. They're trying to do all these dome football games. Goodell started that bullshit. You know what I mean? These European
college games. The college game's still 10 times more fan friendly than the pro.
I will say this though, in defense of Major League Baseball, if anyone wanted to court storm or field storm at Dodger Stadium, you could. The door is not locked. You can just open it and walk on the field.
Yeah, my buddy ran onto the field. It was after the game was over, and he was visiting us. This was and he didn't bring his cell phone. And we couldn't find him after the game. So at the time I lived like 2 miles from Dodger Stadium. It was the first time ever visiting me, ever going to Dodger Stadium. He just somehow wandered back from Dodger Stadium, found my house. So this was, sometimes you can survive in the world without cell phones. Noah, College World Series. How many teams are in it, and how many teams can win this thing?
So there are 64 teams in the College World Series, or in the NCAA tournament. 8 teams get to the College World Series. And if you're asking me how many teams I think have a shot to win the national championship, I would probably throw the dart on like 16 of the 64. There's not an elite team in this year's field. In past years, especially last year, number 1 overall Tennessee kind of ran through it.
Nailed it.
And he did. And it was somewhat of a bold prediction because since 1999, since this field of 64 kind of expanded and we have the current format now, a 1 seed hadn't won it since 1999. So, there have been these really talented teams, and you're going to get that a lot with the whole NIL and transfer portal. Your powered schools are going to have more of the blue chip prospects, but it's college baseball, especially in the sport of baseball. The best team doesn't always win. You look at the Dodgers, they were just able to get over the hump in 2024, but Padres are knocking them off. The Diamondbacks are knocking them off. There are chances of these teams dropping games. Evansville beat Tennessee in 1 game of a best of 3. Like Evansville coming out of the Missouri Valley Conference. So
yeah, I still remember where I was when that game happened.
Oh wow.
Noah, talk to us.
Well,
how we make
format wise, though,
yeah,
64 teams.
They whittle it down to 8 that go to Omaha.
How do they get there? Because it's what 16 16 teams
16 4-team regionals, right?
Yeah, so there's 16 4-team regionals. It's a double elimination pool play, or not pool play, double elimination pool. And from there, the winner of the pool, the regional, play each other in a super regional. So there's 2 regional winners now in a super regional. It's a best of 3 game series. Then the winners of all these best of 3 game series, it dwindles from 16 to 8. All 8 play in Omaha. It goes back to the pool format, and it's double elimination again between 4 different teams. And then the winner of those 2 pools play each other in a College World Series final, best of 3.
Oh man. Any interest in going to Omaha this year, Sean?
Me?
Derek and the Circa crew going to be out.
I saw that they
Derek's going to buy the most. Just teaser alert. Derek's going to buy the most ever.
Yeah. Does Michigan have a shot to make it to Omaha here, Noah?
There are guys from the state of Michigan in this year's field. There is no Michigan team.
Oh, so, wow. Okay. So no,
unfortunately, no, not for a team format, but I will be there. I will represent the state of Michigan this year. This will be my first time going out representing SGPN and also 11.7, who I've done some work with this year.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about it. So let's talk Turkey. Who you said before we fired this up, you said there were 8 teams that you thought had a chance to make it to Omaha to win it all. Let's walk through some of these favorites. Maybe you got some long shots. What are we doing here?
All right. Yeah, I guess I can go through kind of my 8 teams that I have getting to Omaha. Some of my favorite futures. So Vanderbilt's your number 1 overall team this year. All season long, they hadn't been ranked number 1 the entire year. All 15 weeks in the polls, never number 1. Selection Monday comes around and they are named the number 1 overall team. Honestly, I don't mind it. Honestly, I think the committee did an all right job this year. There wasn't too much that I was really up in arms about and complaining. Vanderbilt's got a pretty favorable draw for number 1 overall seed. That's what you would like to see. They get a regional that really doesn't have the type of pitching that the Vandy boys typically have. It's a very talented pitching staff, hails of, David Price and also Walker Buehler, who's in the MLB right now, Sonny Gray as well. I think Vanderbilt gets to Omaha this year. And then I think Florida State is actually one of my favorite futures to get to Omaha. It's plus 275 in this niche gambling market. A lot of the value is extracted. There's a good hold from a lot of the sports books, and you have to take some risks in order to squeeze out a little bit of profit. Florida State, to me, is a spot that I kind of liked. They did get a tough regional draw. Northeastern's got the best team ERA in the country, but the strength of schedule is bottom 8 in the field of 64 this year. So who have they really played? Their best 2 wins this season have come in the midweek against Kansas State. In the midweek games, college baseball teams don't necessarily throw their best pitchers. So Northeastern kind of took advantage of a Kansas State team that was going out there, giving some of their freshmen some reps on the mound against the Northeastern team that had some talent. That was a formidable opponent, but I'm going to doubt him here in the Tallahassee Regional. Mississippi State is an interesting SEC 3 seed. They did win 15 games in conference. They fired their coach a month ago, and they've already rumored to basically have the new coach already locked up.
Virginia's guy, right?
Yeah, Brian O'Connor, Virginia's head coach. So I'm sure Kramer loves that news because Virginia had a very solid baseball program over the last 20 years. And
great people from Charlottesville.
Yeah. So you go out here, like he built that program from the ground up. They come out with that news because I think they're purposely trying to spoil this year's team. Because if the current interim coach, who has no head coaching experience whatsoever, makes a run with this team, then you're maybe in a pinch to have to hire him, which is probably not the best sign, but also like hilarious at the same time, and I'm rooting for it.
It's like NBA shit.
Yeah.
Working on next season. Season's not important.
So I think Florida State's offense, like they have a very good offense. They were there last year. It's an experienced bunch, especially the starting rotation. It's one of the best 3-man rotations in the country. Not a lot of good teams have a solid 3 guys. Not a lot of teams even have an elite 2 arms. Florida State's got 3 really good ones, and they're all lefties. I think it matches up pretty well in this regional, honestly. They would face the winner of the Corvallis Regional. Oregon State, tremendous story this year. Independent team, of course. They scheduled super tough. They go through all that adversity. They played 27 games away from home, over half of their games away from home, which is unheard of for power programs. All of that paid off as they're now hosting college. They're hosting baseball games in the postseason. They control their own destiny to get to Omaha. Do I think that the team's good enough? No. I think they're a top 8 seed by virtue of that schedule that they played. They played a lot of road games against average competition, and that boosts up their ratings in these committee metrics that they look at often. So I think Florida State gets to Omaha plus 275. Nice there. Beaver. North Carolina is my national championship pick.
Really?
10-1 currently in the Chapel Hill Regional. North Carolina's, I think, got the best pitching staff in the country. And they're going up against poor offenses in this regional, so that I think they get out of here. And also they would host in that super regional. My preseason national championship pick was Arizona. They could face Arizona in the super. The offense hasn't really lived up to what I thought it was going to be this year for the Wildcats, or it could be Oregon. And if it's Oregon, I think that could be a very good firefight. Oregon's bullpen doesn't really match up with UNC's though, and I think the Tar Heels will be able to get out of there. I have Coastal Carolina getting to Omaha.
Oh, please.
Really?
They are
better than ECU.
They are my mid-major to get to Omaha this year. Coastal is in the East Carolina region. The Pirates, I mean, they had a really good week, but I really think they lack
1,500.
I really think they lack the depth to get it done. You know, they threw the same arm, Ethan Norby, their number 1, 3 times during the week to get the job done and get in the NCAA tournament.
Kramer, real quick, I'm seeing over at our buddies over at Circa.
Hold on, I'll put my ECU hat on.
East Carolina to win the College World Series is $100 wins you 30,000.
Really?
No, what's the so you like UNC at 10-1?
He likes
Coastal.
And I'm seeing Coastal get out of the region at plus 110.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Look, they're calling for heavy rain all weekend, guys. Pirates survive in the rain. As you know, Coach Leach got into the hall. He just got into the hall, and
because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina. You don't come to East Carolina. You don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
All right, plus 1,500. Jump in on that, Sean.
Plus 1,500 just to make it to Omaha, right?
Just to win this, win the Conway Regional.
Win the regional. Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna have a bunch of fans down there. I almost went before the rain.
I don't know about it.
I'll
trust Noah over Colby. Noah, is there some long shots either to make it to Omaha and or to win it all that you think have some sort of value?
Guys, I gave you out a really good long shot that I still love. It's Stetson, a mid-major that think has plenty of talent. They were 66-1 just to get to Omaha in the preseason when I was on the show earlier this year in February. They are now 22-1, which is still a good price, and I would still honestly recommend it. Stetson had 14 players play in the Cape Cod League last summer, which is like where a lot of the good college baseball players play in a summer league to get more reps. The only team that had more Cape League players than Stetson was Vanderbilt, your number 1 overall seed this year. They are in the Auburn Regional. I've notoriously doubted Auburn this year. They have proven me wrong throughout the regular season, but I still think that they lack the top tier talent on the mound that I think Stetson has. They have the ASUN pitcher of the year in Jonathan Gonzalez as one of their terms. I think they have some pitching talent to really get out of this regional. They have Van Dyke in the bullpen, who's sitting mid-90s, guy in the bullpen, and Jake Gorelick, who had a sub-1 ERA in conference play. Stetson's got the talent to make the run to Omaha as a long shot. So Stetson would be my pick.
Ray Finkel's alma mater.
Stetson is 500-1 to win it all. That would be a nice little. Maybe you just take them to make it to Omaha, but them to
plus
win it all is pretty.
750 just to win their region.
All right.
Yeah,
well, if they win the region, tell me they got a shot.
If you want the story too, like going back 32 years or 32 tournaments because of the COVID year, every 8 tournaments, a mid-majors won it all. I'm not predicting that a mid-major is going to win it this year, but there's your story as well.
I like it.
Oh, this would be the who was the mid-major 8 years ago?
2016 Coastal Carolina.
Coastal. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
2008 Fresno State. Don't quiz me on any of the ones.
You want to hear a terrifying moment as a parent? Your daughter comes to you and says, "Hey, can we go to Conway, South Carolina? I'd like to check out Coastal Carolina." I said, "Absolutely,
the beach, baby. Come to the beach. Come to the beach."
Uncle Colby will show you around.
Okay, Noah. What's one more team you want to talk about, and/or
I just bet Stetson, by the way.
One more team and one more bet you want to get down on or mention, and of course, everyone, make sure you subscribe to the College Baseball Experience. Tons of picks podcasts getting you through to Omaha, and live reporting from Noah. Give him a follow on X as well at Noah B 77 there. Noah, and then an underscore there too, but you can figure that out.
It'll pop up after Noah B.
Yeah.
I walked you guys through that left side of the bracket, which is definitely the more fun side. The right side, I think, is the tougher side. I have 7 of 8 representatives in the Super Regional out of the Southeastern Conference, unfortunately. So how fun,
SEC. SEC.
But I really do think that LSU has a cupcake walk to the College World Series this year. Their regional doesn't have a single power conference team in it. First off, Dallas Baptist is a very quality baseball program. They're a strong 2 seed this year, but their pitching talent's not as deep as LSU. LSU's got maybe the best 1-2 punch in the country this year in Cade Anderson, Anthony Ianson. They're both top 5 in the strikeout category nationally this season. And they are paired up with the Clemson regional. Last year, I loved Clemson. This year, there are plenty of holes in that roster, in my opinion. I honestly don't even have them coming out of the regional. I have Kentucky winning that Clemson regional. They're plus 320 to come out of Clemson. So there's a little bit more of a cuter value pick. I have either Clemson or Kentucky playing LSU in a super regional. LSU at home, one of the best home environments in the country, one of the best fan bases in the country. When they get to Omaha, they're going to absolutely take over the place again, like they've done in 2023. And I mean, this team has, the best path to get to Omaha. Their bracket should be tough when they get there. I do have 4 SEC teams in it: Texas, Ole Miss, Arkansas, LSU. But
chalk.
with that 2-pitcher duo in Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson, and with the rest that is built into the Omaha schedule, they'll be able to just throw those 2 starting pitchers if they stay on schedule and win their games. So I think they get to the final where I have North Carolina winning and beating them, because they won't be able to throw those 2 on schedule throughout the entire tournament. And I think North Carolina does have the best pitching staff in the country. Their offense has been really streaky lately, and they've been red hot. Luke Stevenson's probably the most household name on the offense. He's a catcher, defensive first, but this year he's been hitting for power too. Jackson Vandenbrake and also Kane Kepley's a stud defensive center fielder, also great guy getting on base, steals some bags. North Carolina's offense is good enough, but the real strength of that team is the pitching staff, and I think they get it done. Both Johnny Venezia, who's been a co-host of me on the college baseball experience this year, we both had North Carolina and LSU in our final without talking to each other prior to that episode. An LSU North Carolina final matchup pays out 31-1.
Ooh, all right. I like that. You like the exacta there. North Carolina, LSU, 31-1. No, appreciate it.
Make sure you get Coach Belichick and his new social media manager a shot or two at the World Series in Omaha. Imagine Belichick taking in a college World Series out there. Trouble, only trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and by the way, tomorrow 9 a.m. first pitch. Let's go.
Friday morning.
Get it, and of course subscribe to the college baseball experience. Noah, appreciate it. Good luck with the picks there. And of course, if you're getting down in the action, edgeboost.bet, baby. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums. Earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. Deposit $25. Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog. Underdog Fantasy, get in over there. We've been cranking out best ball drafts, Ryan, best ball mania, giving away millions, $2 million to first place, $1 million to second. You could become fantasy football millionaire. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Get that deposit match up to $1,000. That's right. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Kramer, let's talk a little UFL.
All right. By the way, remember when those LSU fans, Noah talking about that home environment? Remember when we fed those LSU kids all that alcohol and one kid pissed all over your car?
Somewhat.
Colby tried to fight him.
I remember that. I do remember that.
We went to the UCLA LSU tailgate and kind of insane hangover. We were drinking all day, shotgun and beers.
How'd that get in for Colby?
This was when Colby was asked to leave the Rose Bowl.
I'm on a list. He wrote my name down on a list.
I love that you're on a list. Was it a handwritten list?
handwritten. There's no way that shit exists, right? I hope it does.
It does seem like any time that someone has a list, unless it's like a nightclub and criminal or something like that. It doesn't seem like when you get kicked out of a football stadium, I doubt you're getting put on a list, especially the Rose Bowl.
Especially an LSU game too. These fucking idiots. Yeah, I mean, come on. Have you been to a game in Baton Rouge? Yeah.
Don't get me started on you want to talk about Illuminati shit? The Rose Bowl committee. They just had, you see cars running around Pasadena with the Rose Bowl emblems.
Yeah, made men. It's their
what are they doing?
Skull and Bones of Pasadena.
And then they got all these volunteers working the Rose Bowl. They don't got any money. They got volunteers.
The carnations grow themselves, right?
Unreal. All right, so you want to talk UFL? Anything we need to talk about before we get to the games?
I was 4-0 on my plays ATS last week.
I was 3-1. Great effort by you.
Well, Colby forgot about his total. Ryan, you.
Did you see that fucking ending?
Where we went 0-5 as a show on the totals. Why did we? I finally stepped away.
We got
from the totals. You brought me back in.
I don't know.
Wait. So in the total that I was on,
yes,
the Roughnecks quarterback fumbles running into the end zone.
Yeah,
he's at the 1 yard line and he gets stripped.
Welcome to the UFL.
Fucking brutal beat.
No totals this week because the games don't.
No totals.
Games don't mean anything. It seemed like
none of the games mean anything to anyone.
Well,
and they're not playing in St. Louis.
Yeah,
my God.
Not that this would matter. It doesn't matter whether they clinched or not. The games are meaningless. But Colby, it seemed like they were playing their starters for most teams, right? Last week. Do you think that continues here in week 10?
Some of the teams were, like Birmingham was. Well, if you consider
Jamar, if you consider Jamar
Smith a starter, I mean, he was their 5th string quarterback.
Cam Newton, baby.
But Bryce Perkins didn't play. Tamu played just a half. So it's like,
but Perkins was. I think they claimed that was injury, and Danny Etling is kind of starter anyway, right?
That's fair. He did start a bunch of games, even though he didn't deserve to. But, yeah, I mean, but this week they've announced a bunch of backups, like Rocky Lombardi, who's never started in the UFL, is getting his first start for the Michigan Panthers. The backup, Middle Tennessee State kid, DeLello is starting for DC Defenders. Who else am I forgetting? I still think though the Stallions are putting Jamar Smith. I think he's starting as far as I know.
Yeah,
but in a lot of the other ones, and Luis Perez I think is playing potentially his final spring game. So that's some news. Yeah, I mean he almost retired last year, and now that he got the King of Spring out,
he's got to move some books.
A lot of speculation. He's retired. But I don't know why you wouldn't go to the CFL. Their contracts for quarterbacks are fucking pretty good. But
is that Colby just trying to crowbar in a plug for the CFL gambling podcast?
It is, and check that out. We got huge tits parlays. We'll start giving away next week. So join in the fun. CFL. We're gonna crown a champ. Last year the Toronto Argonauts won it all, Sean. They've been playing as a franchise since 1873. Wow. That's like 60 years before the NFL. So
say that fact about the Argonauts one more time, Colby.
Since 1860 or 73, I'm sorry, 1873, they've been playing these Argos. Watch out, Joey T, June Jones played for those Argos. Check out the CFL Gambling Podcast.
I'm wet.
That's my reaction to hearing the Argos trivia and the CFL plug.
CFL's played for a while. So all right. So there's nothing to play for this week.
There was nothing last week, but
how could that be possible? But they're jockeying for position in the playoffs.
Yeah, but as we mentioned, they don't have access to their home stadiums.
DC Michigan would be the winner, would get home field had they just had access to a game in DC. But now that game is in St. Louis. And don't forget Bobblehead night for Jake Bates in they didn't have enough. They had leftovers from the previous time. So they're doing it again. You get in and
to clarify. So the St. Louis Battlehawks DC Defenders game that we're going to talk about first, 5 p.m. on Friday in DC, where the Battlehawks are laying 2.
Where's the slide?
Laying 2 and Colby. Where are the slides? Where are the slides?
Slides, you got them because when I restarted the computer. Okay, there you go.
We're good. Oh, that's not the right thing. The first game we're going to talk about is this Battlehawks DC game. -135 on the money line for the Battlehawks, +115 for the Defenders. 43.5 is the total. So this game should be a very meaningful game, as DC currently up 1-0 in the tiebreaker. They could clinch it all, grab that home game in the playoffs. Of course, we know that's not possible. So this is being played in St. Louis for fun in the next round. So this game really doesn't mean anything. It's a primetime game. They've really made a mess of these Friday.
But it is. So wait, it's St. Louis and they're at home, even though they're on the road against DC, right?
No. This one's actually in DC.
In DC, and it should be for DC to host the next week's game. But instead, it's going to result in them playing again next week in St. Louis.
See, this kind of makes me like DC here, right?
Exactly. This is my 5-star mega whale special here going on 1-800 Pick Dundee. This is a sympathy play. The league is cooking. It's been rigged both years for these Battlehawks. That's why they got more home games than any other team. That's why they got all the free ride in the playoffs. So they're going to give DC and those Beer Snake fans a great win here.
Friendly whistle,
and then next week when they go into the Battlebirds Dome, they're gonna get their ass whooped. The whistle will be against them, but this is the spot to jump on DC. This is a money line play right here, guys.
I'm with Colby. I think this is DC's spot. St. Louis doesn't care about this game at all, and they're on the road. And in general, I'm looking to fade St. Louis on the road, take them out at home. It's a very simple handicap, but it's worked pretty well against or for St. Louis this year. They easily covered the -6.5 at the Brahmas, but in St. Louis because they win it by margin at home, or at least they cover. And DC actually is playing in front of some sort of fan base, so they're the only ones who are going to have some sort of motivation. St. Louis isn't going to want to show anything. They're not going to want to play anything. They're going to obviously save it for the playoffs. And DC they're fired up. They want to show, hey, we should be hosting a home game here. So I like DC a lot here. Kramer, do you agree?
I mean, DC did win the first game, so there's a confidence angle. But it isn't the lead. I mean, I hear what Colby's saying about the narrative. This line has moved a lot in the past. We've seen the line movement be generally correct in the UFL.
What was the line movement?
Well, St. Louis was not favored when this opened, I believe.
But did people know where the game was?
Well, the game's in DC.
No,
St. Louis got bet heavily. So, I mean, if that matters, that I'll take St. Louis.
Okay.
The league clearly wants them to.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't, but the league doesn't know that.
And shout out to Sam G saying he'll host Colby at our tailgate in our beautiful dome for the playoff or championship game. Colby, it sounds like you got an open invitation to the Battle Dome. Caw.
I appreciate it, Sam, but I don't do football indoors.
Wow.
You know, that's just
spitting in your face.
If you get a chainsaw and cut the roof off that, I'm interested.
Would you play the over here, Sean?
I'm not messing with any devil totals anymore.
Okay,
I would probably go under here because I don't trust the Battlehawks offense on the road.
They don't have to score a ton. I think won't do. Who's DC will score.
Just for reference, their last road game they only put up 19. Before that, let's see.
True road game or scheduled?
I don't know. I gotta go back. Then they had 15 against the Renegades. I don't think they've had 20 points or more on the road. And again, it's tough because half these
DC will put up 30 points, no problem. You know, that's what I'm saying. 30 to 20 is 50, Sean.
Yeah. I would still probably look to the under because I think
you
St.
said
Louis
no
totals,
Sean.
Oh,
you
I'm
said
not
no
touching
totals.
the totals. You're touching.
You're talking. You're breaking down a total. All right. I mean, I'm on St. Louis. Good luck. Shout out to the UFL for how you can manage to screw up so bad that you're with.
Supposed to be like the best. This would have been like a playoff game in a way. I mean,
with only 2 teams in your or 8 teams in your league, 4 teams make the playoffs. You still somehow manage to make 20% of your league not matter. 20% of the regular season didn't matter. All because you can't schedule a stadium. Saturday noon kick in Detroit. As Colby mentioned earlier in the show, it is the Jake Bates bobblehead day. Do we know how many they're going to give out?
I think they're going to give 7 to every person.
1 per fan.
How many? The first 200 fans.
Sean, they can't keep paying the storage on this. They had this shit from last season. You know what I mean? They had it from last season. They're just
the fact that the biggest star and the bobblehead choice.
This is the all-time UFL low. Your bobblehead night is a guy who is a kicker and isn't on the team anymore. How is that building a fan base?
And please, anyone going to this, we want 2 of these for our studio.
No, we want as many.
If you can get us a box of these bobbleheads, we'd appreciate it.
We will trade it for some sweet SGPN merch. I mean, come on. How many? Like, be honest. Let's do over on. Let's imagine we're looking at the gumball machine.
Okay.
How many Jake Bates bobbleheads do they end up giving out?
Say 35.
Do you want to know what the limit is? Do you want to know how many they have made?
Sure. Supposedly,
it's like 400, right?
It's 2,000.
Okay.
No way.
2,000.
No way. Come on.
I think they're left over from last year. But dude.
Yeah, of course they're left over from last year. I mean, when he was on the team. Sure. Okay. If he's a legend, it's not like John Elway and they're putting him in the Ring of Honor and he had this great career that he was on the team for 1 year.
Bates played. Let me read
how many games did he play for them? 10?
Let me read the news blurb about him. Bates played 1 season with the Panthers before he signed a 2-year contract with the Lions. He made 26 of 29.
Get the fuck out of that.
26 out of 29 field goal attempts and 64 out of 67 extra point attempts for the Lions in 2024. And they're talking. I mean,
you want to get the bobblehead now because when they're in the store next week, it's going to be $375.
They mark it up.
So
the UFL store is the biggest.
Well, they're going to have like what 1,400 to sell, 1,500. I mean, how many people are going to these games?
How's a Stepfred Williams jersey?
0.
How's a Stepfred Williams jersey 10 times more? What 50 times more expensive?
Also, how do you not play a home game in the playoffs where you have bobblehead day night? You're absolute genius maneuvering.
Well, maybe they're going to give them out instead of diplomas for the high school graduation that's taking over. Oh, and you get a nice bobblehead here from Jake Bates.
What do you think a custom bobblehead costs?
A couple $100.
I think I looked into it to get our own, and it was a little pricier than I thought.
I'm looking here. I'll say you probably, for a decent one, we'll say $100. It could even be more. So you're telling me, that they have $200K lying around?
No,
for fucking bobbleheads.
No.
Are you?
No, they got some
me?
deal. They got some deal. They're in on it. It's an inside operation. The whole thing. Now there's going to be the bobbleheads will mysteriously go missing. There'll be an insurance claim, some forms filled out.
If they
kick back to the Rock,
even if this was
he's going to be black. The
bobblehead's
going to be black for Jake Bates.
If they spent $50K on bobbleheads,
no, they didn't spend $50,000. Ryan, come on, use your head.
What do you think they spent on these bobbleheads?
50 cents a bobble.
You think they got them for 50? Think they're shit?
Yes.
You think they're shit bobbleheads?
Yeah, it's gonna look nothing like Jake Bates. They probably got some leftover ones that were previously, I don't know, fucking Barry Bonds or something.
They probably had Rodney Pete bobbleheads lying around that they tried to repaint.
No, it's got to be a kicker. Who's a famous kicker of the past? They would have had
Jason Hansen.
The Lions.
It's Jason Hansen.
Grammatica. They had some Martin Grammatica ones
laying around collecting dust. They went over to the Silverdome and stole some.
Unreal. Panthers laying 6.5 -170 on the money line. Roughnecks +145. 41.5 is the total. Now this game should also mean something because once again,
the home field,
8 teams in the league, 4 teams make the playoffs, 2 from each division. We know they tried to change that, and currently Birmingham and Michigan are tied. Colby, who has the tiebreaker? Birmingham does because
Michigan's never beat them in the second coming of this league or whatever.
So they in theory could win this game, putting pressure on Birmingham to have to win their final game on the road in the vaunted Liberty Bowl, who gets comically no attendance. I saw an article about how this might be the end for a football franchise in the Liberty Bowl.
That's their fault for butchering that logo and their uniforms, and they should just keep the name because Showboats a great name, but they did nothing to help it.
So
shout out to the UFL.
The game doesn't matter, as we've alluded to many times. No matter what, the Panthers will play the Stallions in Birmingham next week, which this is a little puzzling that they're laying 6.5 points here, right? Much more puzzling than the first spread.
Well, I would say the Roughnecks coming off a win has never been good for them.
Yeah, but this is classic bad team in any league, right? Like closed out the season hot.
Well, I just don't think Danny Etling, who I'm guessing is going to start because
no, it's Rocky Lombardi.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Then definitely take the Roughnecks. If they're worried about putting Etling out there, they don't give a fuck. So I think you got to take Houston the 6.5, right, Colby? What are you doing?
All over it. I think the money line's the play here. I'm gonna fade. I mean, Rocky Lombardi played at Michigan State and Northern Illinois, and Patty C did have a thing. Never fade a Lombardi in a big game. But I think the Roughnecks are just, to me, they're playing really good with McClendon. I think and Michigan's defense is a little dinged up. I think they're going to play the backups.
Yeah.
No Bryce Perkins, no Etling. Smash play, a Roughnecks money line. Parlay that with DC money line.
Kramer, what do you like?
This is confusing to me, this spread. I'm with you. Give me the points. Rocky Lombardi started his college football career at Michigan State in 2017, Sean. He finished it in 2023 in Northern Illinois. He played 7 seasons, or he was on a football roster.
I feel like we talked about him a ton during the college season. Hey, of course, shout out to Circa Sports. Cannot wait to get out to Circa. We're always hanging out there. Great place. And of course, you can win a draft party to Vegas at Circa, 2-night stay for you and 11 friends, $5K. Food and beverage credit. All you got to do is give me your name and email and you're in. You got a chance to win. Circa's an awesome place. This package is crazy. You get a bunch of free drinks, parties, a limo. They really treat you great there, and great place to host your draft. If you're doing anything over at the Circa, promo code SGP15 gets you a nice little discount there. But sign up because you could win this ultimate fantasy football experience for free. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm all over the power trends. It's one of their new AI backed picks angle. They do a great job. Crunch all the data, identify the best props, power trends updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out the power trends and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Of course, head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial. And last but not least, mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Get you 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Home of the MyBookie money bag, the prop builder, live in-game wagering. They even have niche sports like the United Football League. Kramer, they also have college baseball. They got you covered. mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN.
I'm checking on the spread for that last game. Colby, what did you?
This is what happened: is Rocky Lombardi was announced the starter like a couple hours ago. So it went from 6. I made the slides this morning. So
what's
changed.
Is it in the time where you put the spreads in the sheet and I added the money line, it must have changed because.
So now it's at 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we have to pick the game at 2.5, which still I'm not taking Michigan.
Colby, are you still on Houston at plus 2.5?
Houston's winning this game outright, guys. On Bobblehead night. All right.
They're doing it for the Jake Bates bobbles.
How many people will tag us in a picture of the Jake Bates bobblehead, please? How many people will tag us? 0? How many?
I need one for my office. That's more like I'd rather have that than like a Jordan bobblehead. You know what I mean? Like just getting a Jake Bates. Yeah, let's go.
Japan is giving Colby grief in the chat for not being on top of this updated line movement.
Coach Gruden still swung by the office the other day.
He had a little pep talk for Colby.
I want better fucking execution.
Simple enough, Colby. Come on, let's go.
All right, on to the double header on Sunday. Why wouldn't they just do this at normal football time so we can get ready? 9 a.m., not 10 a.m. 9 a.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to San Antonio. So the dome is good this week. I really need to pick up a phone and call these organizations and see what's going on. But I want to call the people that run the stadium. Just be like, what's going on between you and
what's happening? I can't.
Feels like there's some friction. Renegades on the road here, laying 6.5, -280 on the money line. 41.5 is the total. Promise plus 230 if you want to take them straight up. I don't think anything crazy has caused this line to change. Colby, what are you doing here?
This is a smash play on Arlington. Like I said, the league is terrible. Smash! Arlington is like one of the best teams in the league. They should be in the playoffs, but they, with their cockamamie rules, they made sure they lost a couple games they had no business losing.
Colby.
Arlington's could be the King of Spring's final game. So
yeah, Brahmas do figure out how to mess up these games. 6.5 though. Is it too high? That's my only concern. But I'm with you, Colby. They want to promote their stars. So when in doubt, they're gonna make it so Arlington puts up some points. I'll take Arlington laying the 6.5. I feel a little worried about it though. I don't know.
Is there a record that Luis Perez could break?
Yeah,
cause him to stop the game, have a little celebration for him in the middle.
I'm sure actually he's probably the UFL's all-time leading passer. If I think just because they never play the backups. Yeah. Like they're the only team that really doesn't play the backup. But when you think of every other franchise, has there been one quarterback? Maybe Teamu, but last season he was getting
DC. Yeah,
he was getting split reps with DeAndre Francois, wasn't he?
A little bit, but he kind of he's been the guy for what 3 seasons now, basically.
Yeah, it's either be one of those two, which is why jump on these Renegades. King of Spring is going to be the king.
Most lopsided game of the slate, according to the splits over at VSiN. At DK, the handle is 98% on the Renegades. At the Circa, 100% of the handle is on the Renegades. So we're looking at a tremendous. I mean,
so you're on San Antonio, Ryan?
No, absolutely not.
All right,
I love the narrative of a team with only their bright young star retiring to promote a book further. I mean, he's got to compete with Belichick.
Why would he retire, Colby?
Well, the money's not very good.
Okay.
But what else he does?
Yeah, look, I'm one. You should play football forever. Come on. But I mean, I don't know. He retired last season and then he unretired because he knew he had this book coming out. So maybe he jumps to the CFL, gets more money. Subscribe to the CFL Gambling Podcast.
It sounds
bleep that out, please.
It sounds we only said one of those. It sounds like Colby might be absolutely wrong here. There are reports that he's looking to
come back,
get added to a practice squad.
Ooh, NFL. All right.
Okay, I mean, shit, I got dreams too.
Well, maybe the book is just he gets on an NFL train, even just for a little bit of training camp with that book.
Yeah, give it a little heat.
Get on the Eagles. You could have AJ Brown reading it. It is written at a lower level, so AJ Brown could.
Maybe you should be like Stephon Diggs and
what's that? And give out drugs,
pink cocaine to some shorties on a boat, or maybe you should be like your buddy Odell Beckham, his boat trip.
Well, those are different kinds of boat. Bros hanging out on a boat, different than you giving some pink cocaine.
I didn't know Tom Cruise was a diehard New York Giants fan. Makes a lot of sense though. Now that I think about it.
Colby, what do you know about pink cocaine? You're in North Carolina now.
Yeah, so you just went on a field
trip. I prefer blue cane. I prefer blue cane, guys.
Oh, great answer. All right, last game Sunday at noon. Discord's on. What?
I have no control over the slides.
I like that. Thank you for screaming slides. Last game.
It's like watching football with Colby. Screen,
fumble.
He could fumble. Yeah. Stallions on the road against the Showboats in very sad Memphis, Tennessee. What is the worst environment in the UFL? Is it clearly the Liberty Bowl? Colby's favorite stadium.
I think it is. I mean, Birmingham, so considering they're good, is bad.
But the Liberty Bowl is so big. When they show that aerial shot, it looks like a youth sporting event would do better numbers than the UFL.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the problem is they butchered and I mean Birmingham's turnout's been shitty too. But like they keep having teams in Memphis. So when you burn out, you're welcome. Like originally. The Showboats had a great fan base in the 80s, and then even that XFL team in the Maniacs, the Memphis Maniacs, had a decent turnout. But it's in a similar vein with Birmingham when they had the Birmingham Iron in 19 in the AAF. That was a great crowd, but that was like their 20th team. And these leagues keep folding, so I feel like you burn out. You're like, fuck this guy. I'm not getting season tickets. They're not going to make it the whole season.
If
Colby was following the attendance in the late 80s.
If the teams
UFL.
aren't independently owned, there's no incentive to make a fun game day experience to get people there. They're owned by a TV network.
The entire network's phoning it in. Come on.
But I mean, how easy is it to get? I mean, you just give tickets to kids for free. You solve a huge problem here.
Dude, have you been to Memphis? Go down to Beale Street, which is not that far from the Liberty Bowl. Beale Street is like the Venice Boardwalk. You could just give like, I'm sure there's millions, not millions, but a shit ton of people that would go to the Showboats game if you gave them tickets.
That's the problem. You're not the NFL, so you have to give them something. What are they going to get when they walk in the state? So like, this is where gambling. If they were smart,
fucking BB King record.
Let me solve the UFL for them. Relocate all teams. So Colby, you can be in charge of this. Pick the best teams in legal gambling states and explain to people that when you buy your UFL ticket and you go to the stadium, you can turn that ticket in for a bet voucher that matches the cost of your ticket.
Oh my God, it's so easy.
Kick them a $10 free concession coupon.
This is like when Prince.
Imagine if you bought a $25 ticket to a UFL game and they gave you a $25 free bet to throw on the game. You don't think people would cash that in? Fuck yeah, they would.
Do you have to stay to the end of the game?
No.
Okay, I'd be in.
That's like when Prince cooked the books for his album. He became like, remember, he was like Billboard top 10. He made everyone that bought a ticket to his show got the album via the barcode.
Genius.
And then you're onto something. You're onto something there, buddy.
Well, and yeah, it's genius. Anyway, Stallions head to Memphis, taking on the Showboats. Showboats catching 6.5 plus 280 on the money line. Minus 340 for the Stallions. 38.5 is the total.
Ham Newton.
I mean,
Colby, what are you doing?
Under, right?
I love to back my Stallions, but give me these Showbirds. I think look. What's the motivation for Birmingham? They played their starters last week because it's Michigan. That's a team they're playing, and they've swept them under Skip Holtz. I don't know that there's any
zero.
It's too many points, man. It's too many points in a game that means nothing. I do expect them to play the backups this game.
I was on the Memphis money line, and their motivation was the same when they got destroyed by Arlington. I don't think they show up. The no fans is a huge, like, just sad vibe at that stadium. Give me the Stallions. Ham Newton, I think will probably. Don't you think Jamar Smith plays?
I do think he'll play a little bit, just because I think you want to keep him fluid because the guy was working at Dunkin' Donuts 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
this is dangerous, Sean.
Why?
Just because like the Panthers and my thought was like a Roughnecks Showboats money line parlay sounds about right.
No. Under is the better play, I think. Though.
Under, I'm with you on the under. I'm gonna dance with the devil again.
All right. So you're taking Memphis too?
Yeah, just out of principle.
All right, time for some locks and some
under.
Dogs.
Me and Colby are on the under. We're dancing with the devil.
Under 38.5. You guys are crazy. Ham Newton's gonna go off. He's the only guy it's the best nickname in this.
Colby is right. They have the best coach. He will certainly understand the situation and they will know they will know like there is no possible way they cannot do the math as they're the last team to play that they will not need to win this game. Period.
Yeah, come on. They're gonna be fired up. All right, locks and a dog. Kramer, start off. What are you doing?
Lock number one. Well, interesting here. So I'll go backwards. Dog is going to be the Memphis Roughnecks money line parlay.
Okay.
Lock number one is going to be Arlington. They'll carry the Spring King off a la Rudy. Maybe a little bit ironic. Houston plus 2.5. St. Louis minus 2.5.
All right, for me, let's see.
Wait, timeout. Pause. Under 38 in the get rid of St. Louis. Under 38.5 in the Stallion Showboat.
Okay,
let me lock that up. I forgot I was dancing with the devil.
I'm gonna fade you guys. You're ice cold. Give me Birmingham. I
went fucking 4-0 last week.
4-1. 4-1. You can't get away from your sides there. I'll take Arlington laying the 6.5 and Houston plus 2.5. They're gonna win outright. But Houston DC money line parlay.
Yes, thank you.
The way to go.
Thank you.
Colby?
I gave that parlay out earlier, so put me down for that thing.
I'm tailing it. What are your locks?
Yeah, I'm gonna lock up Arlington minus 6.5, and then give me Houston and DC.
Houston getting the 2.5, and DC getting the 2.5 as well.
This is unbelievable.
It is, Ryan.
You would not believe who is sponsoring the Jake Bates giveaway for the Michigan Panthers.
AutoZone,
Kitsch Attorney and Counselors, some law firm.
All right.
What is this?
Why is that unbelievable?
Why? What is the UFL doing that it's trading? It's trading a bobblehead sponsorship kickback. I mean, what else? Why else would there be a league law?
Maybe UFL Jeff got a DUI and needs justice.
Who works for this company?
Shout out check out the Patreon where we detail the war of me versus UFL Jeff. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. You get the if you're in the top tier, we got the new merch, exclusive Patreon merch only dropping. You get the pick sheets, the weekly pick 'em, a lot of fun over there. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Promo code DGens get you 20% off in the merch store, and we're ripping packs. We're opening football cards. You can get your team. The teams are flying off the shelves. Except the Dallas Cowboys, everyone hates them. The Vikings supposedly were supposed to be good. No one's buying them, but you can get 10% off your team or whatever team you're trying to collect. We rip the packs open live on air.
Oh, we've had a couple go in the last since the last episode,
and then whatever you get those cards. So you're hoping for some like super expensive rookies, whatever it is. Good times. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/break, promo code SGPN.
Guess which team? Guess one of the teams that has gone in the past since the past episode. Panthers is gone. Bills also gone.
Oh wow! Yeah. I was bullying our managing editor Adam. I go, oh, you don't believe in the Bills? You don't believe in that 2024 class? Good times as always.
Nice
Thanks for hopping on, Colby. Check out the college experience for a football team previews right around the corner, and of course the UFL and I guess CFL. Bleep that one as well, Ryan. Gambling podcast.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Looks like we have a deep dive to do on this this bobblehead connection.
Kramer, let it ride.